back to the UK, well, we're starting off with farming, but this may be more about vaccinations.
Well, it is, and we have the sort of the overlap between the way in which animal health is treated and human health, of course, becoming ever more closely aligned. But we start with a tweet put out by the NFU. And this will ring a few bells. DEFRA has issued a permit allowing the use of 3 unauthorised BTV3 vaccines in the UK, where a licence is in place. So this is against the ruminant illness described as bluetongue, like so many of them with rather indistinct symptoms, said to be transmitted mainly by midges, but not completely, which of course is somewhat confusing. But it now has its own brand, so just like COVID, it's ready for a serious ramping up. And just to reinforce the message there, that 3 unauthorised bluetongue vaccines have been licensed. So in effect, what this means is that the VMD, the Veterinary Medicines Directorate, so the animal equivalent of the MHRA, have said, yes, it's not authorised, but you can use it anyway. So let's look at their finances. Around 80% of its income is from charges and levies paid for by the relevant sectors of industry, which include the pharmaceutical industry, abattoirs, veterinary surgeons, and importers. This is not unusual, of course, and we must remember that without such apparent crises in animal health, the pharmaceutical industry that deals with this area would, of course, collapse. Let's look at a manufacturer of one of these vaccines, Boehringer Ingelheim, and they have a controversial history, to say the least. I'm going to take an excerpt from a book by Robert Hutchinson called After Nuremberg, produced by Oxford University Press in 2022, and in particular Fritz Fischer, who was before the Nuremberg trials, and there were appeals effectively on the basis of good character. This book states that, or summarises by saying, missing was any conception of what Fritz Fischer had actually done during the war as part of this service to his country, the purposeful injury and mutilation of concentration camp prisoners in order to test the efficacy of experimental medical treatments with deadly results. Now, the reason I bring Fischer out to discuss is because he was convicted but has his sentence reduced and was released after 15 years in 1955, and he subsequently found employment as a researcher for Boehringer Ingelheim, a pharmaceutical company. Of course, we know that there are many such people who went effectively from Nazi Germany into all sorts of industries that have shaped the West since. Now, Boehringer also deny strenuously that they had any hand in producing Agent Orange, used to devastating effect as a defoliant herbicide in Vietnam. But do they protest too much? On their website, they pose the question to themselves: did Boehringer Ingelheim directly or indirectly profit from the Vietnam War? Indirectly, they admit through gritted teeth. The effects of the Vietnam War were noticeable in many sectors of the global economy, including the chemical industry. Boehringer Ingelheim filled supply gaps in the civilian crop protection market and thus indirectly benefited financially from the Vietnam War. But the Justia website, commenting on the case that was taken before the United States District Court of New York in 1983, goes quite a lot further, citing as evidence that in the 1950s, the then C.H. Boehringer Sohn Company of Germany had serious cases of chloracne among workers engaged in the production of TCP, a precursor chemical used inter alia to manufacture 2,4,5-T, which is what Agent Orange effectively came from or was derived from. By 1955, the Boehringer Company was forced to halt production at 2 plants. So one might say no smoke without fire. A checkered history, and as I say, a very controversial one, although elements of it, of course, are continually denied by the company. But I do think this is relevant because it does suggest the way in which malpractice, malfeasance, and anything effectively untoward that's gone before is just swept right under the carpet. But what we'll do is have a look at what we might describe as being the direction of travel for this business, which, surprise, surprise, is a unique initiative for AI and what's called biomedicine. And this institute, this bespoke institute set up for this, says that researchers from AI and biomedicine will collaborate in an unprecedented partnership to develop novel research approaches for biomedicine. Now, that, I think, suggests really the removal of thought and humanity from the process, with the result that, in effect, responsibility doesn't need to be taken for decisions that are made by computers. Specifically with the area of biomedicine, it's yet another example of a condition being taken in order to medicate against, rather than looking at overall health, and which takes us right back to the beginning of issuing an unauthorized vaccine in the first place. And of course, as I say, the close parallel with human health. So this is just a theme that we will continue to follow, of course, as human health and animal health become more closely interrelated.
Thanks, Charles. Okay, if you like what the UK Column does, you would like to support us, we do need your support. You can make a donation on the website, or you could join as a member. The website to go for to find out all the options is support.ukcolumn.org. Various memberships available. Of course, you could pick something up at the UK Column shop or from clive2carl.com. We have an affiliate relationship there. Now, if you want to share our material, we do need you to do that as well, because we are increasingly censored, as everybody will be aware. The share buttons are there. Or if you want to have a look at the comments on the various articles and videos, you can click on the link there. Okay. Now, tomorrow, we've an interview with you.
Yes, a fantastically interesting interview with an academic, Wanjiru Unjoya, who's the scholar in residence at the Mises Institute in Alabama. And she, effectively, her start point is that all government intervention results in a bad outcome for the people of that government or of that country. And we have a short clip of her talking about, for her, the very close similarity between what's called equity and apartheid.
So they reason the same way in relation to equity. They say, well, it's true that equity is just like apartheid, but we are now doing it from good motives. So it doesn't matter if we're being hypocritical. And I'm saying, yes, it does matter. It's your society that's founded on hypocrisy is volatile because, first of all, people don't like hypocrisy. They become resentful. They become angry. They'll be out on the streets rioting, and you can't fix that by just throwing them all in jail. People don't like to be taken for fools. That's why it matters if we're running a hypocritical system, and that's why it's wrong. I'm against it, you can probably tell the way I got fired up.
A fascinating interview going out at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, so definitely tune in to Wanjiru.
Okay, thank you, Charles. On Sunday morning, Brian will be premiering episode 6 of Walking the Dog. He's got some sad news at the beginning of that, but we'll quickly move on to a discussion with you from a couple of months ago, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really enjoyable conversation with Brian about an awful lot of effectively sort of countryside, rural farming matters and plenty else besides. So please do tune in on Sunday at 11 o'clock.
On his YouTube channel?
Yes.
Okay, rapidly running out of tickets now for the Bristol event on the 19th of October. So thank you very, very much to everybody that's coming to that. We're really looking forward to it. You can see the list of people on screen there that will be speaking. So hopefully the last few tickets will go very soon. If you are looking forward to coming to that yourselves, get hold of one because it won't last very much longer. Now, a couple of months ago, when was it? Sorry, 6th of September, a few weeks ago, I was speaking about the new proposed health restrictions in Northern Ireland. This is a new public health bill. If you haven't seen that, that was from the 6th of September 2024. Do have a look at it. And if you want to find that, go click on the news archive link on the main menu of the UK Column website. The reason I'm mentioning this now is because tonight at 7 p.m, Together is hosting a discussion with Paul Frew, MLA, who's a Northern Irish politician, about the Northern Ireland Public Health Bill, and they're asking what's going on. So that's on the Together YouTube channel if you want to go and have a look at that.
And then we've got a debate coming up on Friday the 4th of October, Capitalism versus Climate Change debate featuring Andrew Bridgen and Carwyn Jones. To get tickets for that, go to fixer.co, fixer spelled Fixr.co, and search for Capitalism versus Climate.
Okay, thanks, Charles. Right. Let's move on then.